Have you ever stared at your reflection in the mirror and thought, this is not what I look like. This can't be it. Why do I look like this? This is a part of having dysmorphia that nobody talks about. And I want to dive deep into this because lately I've been feeling this a lot in me. And it goes farther than insecurity, than just insecurity. It goes farther, very, very far. Because I'm safe to say that I am driven by beauty, vanity, and whatever. I know I'm beautiful, I have very high self esteem, but I still hate my body. And it's because it doesn't look like I feel it has to look. It's not like I feel that I'm not gorgeous. I just feel like my body is off. There's something off about it that I can't quite put into words. And I know that this is very uncomfortable to sit with. This is a thought that just comes to your head and pops up every single time of your life. And I've had this thing since I'm 13 years old, since puberty, basically, because I put myself in this position of I'm not, I don't have like a standard beauty, and I know that people see me differently because I'm not tall, because I'm a little bit chubby, you could say, because I used to have like fat cheeks, a little bit fatter, and I hated that. So I took them out because that was bringing me a lot of insecurities. But farther than that, I fixed my insecurities. I just feel off still. Does that make sense? And when you have an eating disorder and dysmorphia at the same time, it's really hard to fix that because I don't think there is an actual problem. And that's what I want to clarify, the difference between having dysmorphia and just having insecurities. It is just a different thing, you know. It's just like your brain perception of your body becomes different than what it actually feels like, you know. You feel your body, but you don't see it the same way that you feel it. That is having dysmorphia. That you cannot visualize, you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. And it's like a game that we're playing in our heads all the time. It's so toxic that it feels like it's not vanity anymore, because I know that if I put some jeans on and a blouse or whatever, I will look cute or the best that I can look. But I still don't feel like I'm quite good looking, you know, because I don't recognize myself in the mirror, because I know that I don't look the way that I think I look. And that breaks your brain at times. It's not about like beauty standards. I have my notes here. And yeah, that's the difference. I think that this sensory and cognitive perception that we have of our body, it's like one thing that goes to your head, but the actual reflection of your body in the mirror breaks you. For me, for example, I don't know why I feel so confident in my own body. I know I'm cute, I know whatever. I'm short, I'm very short. I'm 4'11". And sometimes it feels like I am thin. I feel normal. I don't feel thin. I feel normal. But when it comes to seeing myself in the mirror, I just break. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand where's all the diet that I'm doing. I don't know where's all the exercise that I'm doing, all the effort. And I've like realized that this is a big issue because I've gone to a nutritionist, I've gone to the endocrinologist, I also went to the gynecologist, and of course I have problems with my thyroids. Of course I have problems with my metabolism, and I've tried to fix all of that, and I still don't understand why I don't match. I just don't match. Like, and the psychological framework of all of this is that perception is something that you build, you know? You build your self image. You don't actually perceive yourself the way that you see in the mirror. You actually perceive yourself with actions, the way you express yourself, your creativity, how you deal with other people, how other people's opinions are like guided depending on how you look that day or whatever. All of this is building your self image. But if it doesn't match, then what is wrong? And I've tried to fix this for many, many years. And today I realized that it was very, very bad because I went for a race. I went to a race. I run 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers, and it was nice. It was quite alright. I'm used to running because I love running. But at the end of it, I was like, I'm going to take cute pictures so I can upload to my Instagram or whatever. I uninstalled Instagram for the same reason because I have a very toxic relationship with the way that I see myself in pictures and the way that other people see themselves in pictures, because it's like, how are you, like, I understand the confidence, but then it's like I wouldn't be able to upload a picture like that or doing that, or of, I don't know, like I start thinking, overthinking. I spend more time than usual thinking about other people's lives, and I hate that. So I uninstalled Instagram. It's like, no thank you, I am going to upload a picture whenever I feel like, but today it won't be the day, and probably not for the next month. So today I feel like after the race, so I was seeing like if I could take a picture, and my mom was like, okay, I can take a picture of you. When I saw the pictures, Jesus Christ, I almost cried because it's like, do I really look like that? And it's like shocking. It actually, just thinking about it, makes me feel a little bit emotional because I do not look like that, like for real. And I need to fix that. And I am trying to. I take pills for my thyroids. I am going to go through an hormonal like thing because I have polycystic ovaries syndrome. I also have I'm not overweight, but I'm at my limit. But I don't see myself like that. I don't know how to explain this to you. Like, it does not affect the way that I relate myself to other people. It does not make me insecure at all. Like, I know that I'm worth more than what people actually treat me like, and I know how to stand up for myself and go away and walk away and whatever, you know? And I think that has affected me to a deeper level, like farther than insecurity. And you have your body image and how you perceive your body schema. Well, the way that you see yourself in your brain and the way that you see yourself in the mirror. And it doesn't much. So the brain is constantly guessing about how you look like when you feel yourself, or how you perceive yourself, but it does not actually sees you, you know, because your brain is not able to see, only your eyes. But like, it's always going to be wrong I feel the sketch that you have of your body and your brain is always going to be wrong or a little bit off than what it actually looks like. You're always going to be a little bit more like feel a little bit more secure or less secure than what you should actually feel like, but all of this is social construct, so it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. That's why I'm thinking about this today, because today felt real. Today it felt like I was going to break down into tears because I feel like I have gained weight, and I feel the like I don't feel like this. Like I see myself in the mirror and it's like, why am I looking like this? Like this is wrong. I feel wrong to look myself in the mirror and not see the image that I have of myself in my head. And all of this, like, do you listen to that? I don't know if it's a dog, if it's a bird, or if it's a baby. Okay. So, we also have the influence of other people's eyes. This is something that is going to take you farther in your craziness, because some people is going to be like, oh no, you're fine. Other people is going to be like, oh, you're too skinny, you should eat. And there's other people is going to be like, yeah, so when I was like about your weight, I was doing like this, now I'm skinny as hell, you know? And it comes to the point where you say, stop giving an opinion, an unwanted opinion on other people's bodies, because you don't know what the hell they're going through. You genuinely don't know. Like, for a long period of time, I was, yeah, this summer, I was in the US and I went to the beach multiple times. I was using shorts because it was summer, because, yeah, I was on my bikini, literally, and I was feeling myself. But then there were pictures that I was like, oh my god, do I seriously look like that? Like, that's embarrassing. And there were pictures like, oh my god, I am so gorgeous, you know? And you start doubting yourself. You're like, why am I hating myself on these pictures? And then I feel like, oh, do I really look that good in other pictures? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. And I know it's the angle, I know it's the lighting, I know it's the clothes you're wearing. I know everything has to do with the final result, and you shouldn't feel like this with the final result. But when you can't help but think of yourself, of how you can look like that and not look perfect or not look like the way you see yourself in your head, it just makes you realize that you're lying yourself all the time. You are doing something wrong, right? Even if it's lying yourself, not eating good, probably denying reality, because I think most of us deny a little bit of reality to live sane in the outside world, to be honest. So the moment that people give us their feedbacks, their comments, or we live by the cultural ideals, we're going to have a distorted, totally distorted idea of how our body looks like. And I think this is not healthy. Your body becomes a collage made of everyone else's opinions, perceptions, thoughts, and this is where I link all my videos at the same time. I am surrounded. I feel like I want to surround myself. That's a better wording. I feel like I want to surround myself with beauty all the time, every day. And I see beauty. I recognize beauty. Of course, beauty, like my concept of beauty, because beauty is very subjective. So when I think of this, it's like I can find someone beautiful. But I find them beautiful. Do they care about my opinion? No, right? And I take it so personal when someone says something about my body. But do I care about their opinion? Are they someone that I want to be, like, in a position that I want to be, like, in 5 years or something? No. Then why do I care so much? Why do I care? Why am I dying over this person's opinion? And some of them are like normal, but there are opinions that just want you to die, you know? That bring you to a breakdown for the next week because it just hits you in the right spot. You can be the most secure person in your life and have the most self esteem, but you are not made of glass to not, like, feel what people tell you. Because where's your feelings? Where are your feelings? Where's your, I don't know, are you sensible or not? I am. I think deeply, I overthink, I overanalyze, but I want to make this clear. I have worked on all my insecurities, and I feel like this is the only thing that actually breaks me to a point where I think about myself a little bit more or farther and doubt what I look like, you know? It makes me doubt so much. And I think, like, through my adolescence, I've learned the beauty that I have in me and how I am more than just a pretty face, curly hair, tiny little girl that's so cute, everyone wants to bite. I know I'm more than that. But I I think this is something that affects you if you care about looks. And I think we all care about looks. It's really hard not to. And yes, I also have written here the difference between being perceived versus self-perceiving. And that is totally opposite things. I went with an outfit. Oh, something that took me out today was that I was wearing shorts, really tiny shorts, and my thighs were touching, and I was running. So the last 2 kilometers, my thighs, the friction between my thighs, became a little bit harder than I thought, than I felt last year. And that made me go crazy. I was like, am I fatter now? Did I gain weight? Like, why are my thighs bigger? You know? I've never had that problem before. And now I have it. And now I feel less worthy. And now I feel like I'm going crazy. Now I feel like I should lose weight. Now I feel like I shouldn't be wearing shorts. And that is the thing that I understood, that all of these thoughts are not coming from me. Those are coming from outside ideas that were implanted in my head, and now I make them feel true. But it's because I made them feel true. They're not true. There's not such thing as like a complete truth or anything. So that makes me feel like my self-perception is making me feel insecure. But I'm not insecure. You know? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And I have more. So after this, we have like how dysmorphia is amplified when you're hyper aware of being watched, especially when you're wearing shorts. Like this morning, I was so aware that people were looking at my legs, and then I was thinking, like, I have everything figured out, I don't care. But then my thighs would touch it, and it was like, now I like feel like my legs should not be seen in shorts, but it's too late, you know? I was already 8 kilometers in. So that made me sad. And I think this is a topic that we should all talk about at least with our friends or with our family, because self-image is something that literally can destroy your day, can destroy your week, your month, for a long period of time until you figure out what's going on with you. Because most of the time, it's not like you have a problem or you don't like how you look, but it's farther than that. It's laziness, it's you're not with the right diet, you're not with the right exercises, or maybe you should like give it a little bit more time, do more cardio. And I'm talking like this because those are like my specific issues with myself. I am short and I should consume like 1,100 calories every day, and it's so hard because I get so hungry. You have no idea. I'm hungry all the time. I don't know why. That's my eating disorder. I'm hungry all the time and I cannot eat normally. You know? I can There's not a single day. There like probably once a week I am able to fully commit to the 1,100 calories. But aside from those singular day, I consume more. And then I become obsessed with burning the extra calories that I ate. Which is like, why I could not be doing this like extra exercise if I just ate right. But what do you mean about eating right if you're hungry? It's something physical. Your body asks you for food. But then it's like, am I feeding myself right? Why am I not eating enough fiber or protein? I didn't meet my protein goal this day, like, and it upsets me to the point where I go crazy. I just feel down. I start thinking about what I ate in a day and I put it on my app, and then it's like, no, this is not okay. This is not right. And don't even get me started with not going to the gym. The day that I don't go to the gym, I feel crazy. I start feeling anxious, and I should cure that. I should heal that part of me, because what do you mean I'm going crazy over these things? It's my body, and I'm very, very thankful for my body. I love my body. I love my body, and I appreciate every single part of it. That's why I stretch it. That's why I try to eat clean. That's why I exercise. That's why I do all of the things that I do, you know? But at the same time, it's like, am I insane? How can I love my body and then hate it the next hour just because I ate a bag of Oreos? Like yesterday, I was craving Oreos, made my mom buy them for me, and I ate them and then feel terrible afterwards. I was like, what are you doing, Melissa? You shouldn't be eating this. You shouldn't be eating this. This is trash. This is literally crap. And then you ask yourself, why do you feel bad later? You know? And I have this discussion in my mind, and it's like, but I wanted to. And then that's the other question. Why do you want to eat that in the first place? Why did you ask your mom for that? And I punish myself mentally, emotionally, in every way. And that hurts. That hurts. It's cruel. And it's so real. I think it's a problem that we've all been through or going through. And the cruel reality of all of this is that most people that have dysmorphia are never going to stop having dysmorphia, are never going to achieve the dream body, because it's just in your head. You're imagining your dream body. You know? It's made up. And I don't know if it's achievable. Someday I will probably achieve it, someday maybe not. Maybe feel like I'm not enough for my own mind the rest of my life, which is horrible. And don't get me started with social media. I compare myself all the time with models, and that is probably the most toxic thing I do with myself every single day. That's why also I uninstalled Instagram because I was overthinking about this. And I was talking about this with my friend the other day. We both are the same height. We're talking about how much we need to eat every day and whatever, and exercising is just takes your energy every day. And she was like, did you see like this girl and this girl from high school that now are really thin? And I was like, no, show me. Oh my god, I remember them as like this normal girls, high school, you're a little bit overweight, just a little bit. But the pictures that she showed me, they're all skinny as hell. You can see their collarbones, you can see the bone, everything. And I was like, why? Is this a trend? Yes, it's a trend. I went to an only girl Catholic high school, and there were a lot of girls that were following trends all the time. And I'm like, that kind of personality following trends is never going to stop. But it's inevitable to follow these trends if they look like you're going to have more acceptance in society. And that hurts. That just hurts my brain. Why why hot people date hot people? How can I be hot people? You know? That's also. So body dysmorphia in this digital world that we live in today. Oh my god. Something just fell down. Okay. It's like you're never going to feel enough. You are absolutely never going to feel enough. And you start thinking about all of this, right? Let's start with TikTok. In TikTok, you have a lot of filters that literally filter away your acne, your cheeks, cheekbones, lips, eyes. You become another person. So this boosts your confidence, but at the same time you're not seeing yourself. I don't know how it can boost your confidence if you're not seeing yourself. Does that make sense? You're seeing uh let's say a filtered version of yourself. So the camera is showing a version you never asked for. You just wanted to see. You're curious. And turns out now you're addicted to seeing yourself with filters. What the hell? That is not okay, you know? And yeah, you start comparing yourself with all these images that you have of yourself with filters on, and it's like, I don't look like that. And this happens when it happens in real life also. We've all had an aunt, well, I've had an aunt that has a Samsung camera and puts on all the filters like up to the top. And when you like, when I've tried to take pictures of myself with her camera, it's like, I am not this person. I am not this person. But like, then I see her pictures that she uploads on WhatsApp or whatever, and it's like, she's not her. Like, you don't look like that in real life. Oh, what the hell? And she's not ugly. She's just, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about filters. What's your opinion on this? Because it's really weird to see yourself, especially the freckle filter of TikTok. I see myself with that filter on, and it's like, I wish. But I can't do further than just wishing. And then you implant that idea because it's so shockingly, because it's about you. It's about you. You're seeing yourself in an enhanced version of yourself. It shocks you and it stays in your brain forever. And you start comparing yourself with that image that you have in your brain forever. So you're living between two realities, right? The body and the mind. What you look like in your mind versus what you look like in the mirror. And we want to trust. We want to trust our mind, but we cannot. We cannot. You have to be a little bit more realistic and look at yourself in the mirror and accept that. Accept that. And also change the things that you want to change in a little bit more disciplined way. Because for me, the hard part is being disciplined about food, I eat a lot because I am hungry almost all the time. And when I exercise, I'm even more hungry. So it's very, very difficult to actually accept that I am overeating and that's my eating disorder. And that sometimes I just want to eat a little bit more than other days. And it's okay, but I will have to do more exercise. And I'm also like thinking about this idea of doing cardio every single day. And there are days that I skip. And all of those things that you don't do or that you do add up to a certain amount of calories or exercise that will not match the idea that you have in your head. So, you are betrayed by yourself. That's the dysmorphia at the end of the day. You betray yourself lying to yourself and not doing the things that you need to do in order to get what you want. And I know I say this, but I am the example of not doing anything of this because it's so hard. It's beyond hard doing this. So you shouldn't let all of this compliments or wrong compliments that people give you get to your head, because it hurts, because those are lies. Every opinion is just made up. You should think that way. Every opinion a person gives to you, it's made up by their situation, their scenarios, and their perception of life. And every single person has a different perception on life, so don't take that for granted. Don't make it yours. And you should not also feel the shame of not trusting your senses. You should not feel the shame of having this beautiful body in your head that you think you have but you don't. And I know it's okay. And it's okay. It's okay to have dysmorphia. You can live with that. You just have to find healthier ways of actually like making a fusion, mixing the reality with your perception. Healthier ways than comparing, than restricting, than hating, And I know when I say it, it's easier than done. It's easier said than done. But it's really frustrating, especially when people say like, "But you look fine." What? Who do you think you are to say I look fine? You're not the man that I want. Well, that's another topic. If the man that you want says you're fine, I don't know what to do with that. I've never. Well, no, I don't know. There was this time that I was with the man that I still like, to be honest. He was my crush. And we were both walking on a mall in another city because we traveled together before everyone else because it was a college like thing. And he was like, why am I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, whatever. And he was like, I asked, like, why is everybody looking at us? Like, where are we or why? They were like, they treat us different because we don't look like we are from here. And I understood that and then took it like as, and I was like, why? And he was like, look at yourself. You don't look like you're from here. I took that as a compliment because Ecuadorian people are known for looking like a little bit weird. Well, not weird. They have different features. Like if you look for Ecuadorian women, like traditionally, they're like different skin color or whatever. But I know I look Ecuadorian because I am. But looking like you build an idea, an image in your head, and it's like I don't fit in that, but I'm still Ecuadorian. Whatever. So who are we without a body? Me, I am a creative person. I have so much confidence in who I am as a person that I truly think my identity and my love and my beauty goes beyond my physical form. But I'm never going to detach myself from physical beauty. I'm never going to be fully able to detach myself from that. That's why I'm struggling with this right now. And is that my perception is, yes, very distorted, but what does me even mean? Why am I distorting my own version of myself in my head if I am more than just a body? Ask yourself that. Next question that you should ask yourself: are you your body, or the idea that you have of your body? Also, I think the majority of time I am the idea that I have of my body, and that is me embodying a fantasy. I don't know if that's good or wrong. The next question is, well, you should contrast this: the body as a vessel to perceive the outside world, the body as a person to not be able to embody your fantasy fully because you have these limits that it's your body itself, or your body as an abstract shape that is just existing. It's something that you will never know how you fully look because you are not able to understand your shape. So, what is the angle that you want to have about your body? Are you going to make it beautiful? Are you going to still question it? Probably. That's what I do almost all the time. I question my body. I change my clothes like 3 to 4 times before I go out. I shouldn't do this. There's no need to do any of this because I know I look good in every single one of those outfits. But I still don't quite understand myself, you know? There's something off about every single thing that I do, about every single way that I try to see myself in the mirror, like in this angle, there's something. There's something. And I don't think this is something that is going to get fixed if I lose weight. I think if I lose weight, I will like just change problems other than resolving problems. So, yeah. Also understanding that our bodies are always changing depending on what we're living. The body regenerates, reshapes, and shifts because that's the beauty of having a body. You can change it because it's not permanent. Something that is going to be all the time working and helping you do things and aging. That's a very, very sensitive topic for me. So the mirror is not the enemy, you know? We should just ground ourselves. And I say ourselves because I'm also having body dysmorphia right now, and I assume you do too because you've come to this point, or you're just interested. If you're listening to this, I'm sending you a tiny itty bitty kiss. I'm pretty sure you're fine, don't worry. So learn about your body with more curiosity, you know, understand, acknowledge what you're going through, acknowledge true facts. Are you overweight? Yes, how much? And how are you going to change that? Are you underweight? Yes, how much? And how are you going to change that? How are you going to help yourself feel like your body? You know? Love, it is an act of patience. I've had patience for more than 11 years now, since I'm 13, as I told you. So I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I know sometimes I feel like I'm perfect, but that's another thing. That's another thing. So you should be kind, soft with your body, because it's the only thing that you have for your conscience to be able to fully experiment the outside world, to fully feel and to fully absorb the outside, you know? So the mirror is not your enemy at the end of the day. Is that you should accept without that accuracy of how you're definitely looking like. Just accept yourself first and then change. You don't have to fully understand your body to live in it, okay? Live and try to live better in it. You can exist gently in a body that feels confusing. You can. That's a fact. And another fact, you can learn to observe the distortion without becoming that. You can learn to live with your image in the mirror without fully trying to accommodate it to your fantasy. So maybe the goal is not to see ourselves perfectly. The goal is to actually stay. Stay. Be pretty. Try to enhance yourself, as I told you. I think we all have an enhanced image of ourselves in our heads. That's the dysmorphia. But we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine if we continue being healthy and strong, you know? That's all that I have to say. I hope this existential, raw conversation brought a lot of questions to you and a lot of trying to heal that image that you have in your head and in the mirror. And yeah, that's all that I have for you today. If you want to be more creative, please check out my book. It's going to be in the description. I have a lot of beautiful things in the description. I have a book of poetry, of creative awareness, and I also have a daily journal. So they're all going to be in the description, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Love you so much. Please take care of your body. Please take care of your body. Take a lot of care and know what you eat. Know how much you move. Try to move more. Always try to move more. And be gentle. Love yourself. Love yourself, understanding that you should not be able to fit into beauty standards. You should fit into your own beauty standards without hurting yourself, of course. And yeah, that's all that I have to share. Bye.